So let's see how we can do that. So we named it purchases scroll test. So let me search for it. Okay, there's this. So that's what. So I will be adding some text. Okay, so instead of adding some widget, I'll be adding text inside. So then we'll be creating the window. So let's see. I will add some labels here. So the first label I want to add will be, let's say, the text, so item heading. So we have three divisions, as I said. So the item, the quantity, and the cost. Okay, so let's see. So the first label will be the item name being equal to, then I'll say it's a label. So label, then okay, now this label I'll set it to the I'll set the parent or master option to the purchases scroll test, then the text being, since we want to space it out, I'll just bring some spaces here. So let's say items plus, then I'll say parentheses, then I'll bring space, then I'll say empty space, then I'll multiply it by, let's say, a 27 here, so that it will space it out a bit. So 27. Okay, I think this should do it. Then I'll say the font should be my font. Okay, so you are good to go. So we do the same for the next ones. So the next one will be the quantity. So quantity being equal to, so it's also a label. So label. Okay, then I'll say purchases. Okay, it's two equal signs. Okay, so purchases scroll test. Then I'll say text being equal to. Then I'll name it as quantity. But first we need to space it out from the, let's say, okay, let me add something here. We need to add a bar to, let's say, divide the three. So plus, then I'll say a string of the bar here. Okay, so let's space it out. So I'll just do parentheses. Okay, then space. Okay, so I would like to multiply it by a 12 here. Okay, so this number is actually my option. So like you can change it to any number you wish to use. So I'll go here. Okay, then I'll add another one. So here I will need 12 and a bar, yeah, something like that. So I'll just do parenthesis space multiply by 12 and a bar here. So let's say plus 1 bar. Okay, so yeah, then my font should come. So font being equal to my font. Okay, so lastly we go to the cost. Okay, so like the cost is, let's say, the quantity times the price of the product. So cost being equal to the label, then I'll say purchases scroll text, then I'll say text being equal to, so here we want to go away from the bar. So as we did, so I'll say I'll go here like 9. So here should be, let's say, space. Okay, yeah, let me see. So I'll bring parentheses space multiplying by 9. Okay, so by 9, then I'll bring them. Okay, I think we have our bar already there, so I'll just do plus. Okay, here should be equal to, okay, plus, then I'll say cost, then I'll move away a bit from the cost a bit, so I'll just do plus, then I'll bring some, I'll say, let's say, a 9 here also, so that we space it out a bit. Okay, so that's cool. Then let's run this code and see what we are getting. Okay, we haven't added it yet, so I'll go back here, say purchases underscore scroll text. Okay, did I spell it right? So I'll go purchases Okay, so purchases. Okay, now we need to, these are all widgets, so we need to create a window. So as we did previously, so we just do dot window underscore create. Then I'll say, so the first parameter is what? So it's the end. Okay, then I'll say window being equal to, then I'll say, so the window should be equal to the first one, so we are doing it in order. So item name, then we'll go to the same thing for the quantity and cost also. So I'll quickly go down. Okay, then here should be quantity. Okay, quantity, then I'll say here should be cost. Okay, so we are good to go. So now we can run them and see what you are getting. Okay, so let me go here, my credentials, then the password. Okay, so it's looking a bit good. Okay, so I think we didn't add the font for the cost. Okay, so let's add it here. So font being equal to my font. Okay, so run again, staff, continue. Okay, then okay, so I think it's looking good, but we want to add some more spaces so that it will close it up a bit. So let's add a bit of space here. So I'll put it to 12. Okay, so I think we are done with, let's say, how the front is looking like, adding the images, adding the edits. Now what's left will be, let's say, doing the functions or doing what the button should do when it's clicked. Yeah, so let me run one last time and see uh, front. Okay, so then I'll say this one. Okay, it's looking good now. Okay, it's looking good. Now we will want to add these items, the ones let's say selected or the ones bought, to this purchase section by using the add section or the add button. So when I click the add button, it should add the items I want to purchase to this section. Okay, so that's what we are doing next. Okay, so let me close this. Okay, I think there is a small space here, so I'll increase this to 13 rather. Then I'll go back here. So how will we do it? So I'll go to the add button. So where is the add button? Okay, so this is the add button. Now I haven't created a command yet, so I'll just add it, then I'll create it at the top there. So command being equal to, then I'll say add, then I'll go to the top here, create the add function. So I'll just do add. Now this add function won't accept any uh, argument, so we have the add function. We want to add it to our scroll text. So what we have to do is just add a text. So you see, so we are adding a text, but before you add the text, you need the product name, you need the quantity, you need, so first we need to follow how we arranged our purchases section. So we have three headers. We have the item header, we have the quantity header, and we have the cost header. So the item header, how will we get it? So it's very simple. We first need a for loop to actually run through, let's say, a range of let's say images or a range of items we have created in our items code text widget. So that's what we'll be looking at. So the for loop first to run through all your items to get the label, the specific label. Okay, so what I'll do is here for loop. So I'll say for, let's say, item in a range of, so if you have been observing, I've created let's say 5 items so far. So let me go down here. So okay, so it started from 0, so and it ended at 4, so it means we have 5 images here, so including 0 and the last one, which is 4. So I'll go here, So instead of 5, I'll put a 6 here so that like the last digit will be 5. Okay, so I have this for loop. Now how will I get the label name, or how will I get the item name? Is very simple. So what I'll do here is that I'll go to, let's say maybe I want to get the label, so I'll just do item name, being okay. So I think we have used this name in our billing page. So what I'll do here is I'll use a capital here, so item underscore name. Then this should be equal to label, or sorry, this should be equal to how did we store the labels? So you go back to check, so label, so as you can see, then I'll go here. Okay, so here shouldn't be item, I'll just do num, so representing a number, since we are iterating for a number. Now I'll say item underscore name, then I'll say label, so it was like this, so as we saw it down there, so label, then I'll say here the label with let's say a num, so let's say label 1, label 2, as we saw it. So here, since we are getting a red line, what should we do? It's pretty simple. So here I should bring just a square bracket, then I'll say text, so like it's just an option. So in Python, when you have uh, a dictionary, or when you have a list, or you want to get, let's say a value from that dictionary, you just need the key. So this key, the text key here, represents what the text is holding. So simple. Okay, so since we are getting a red line here, it's because it can't let's say recognize the label, and we don't have anything like this down there. So what we do is we execute. So we use the execute method to actually execute these commands, so that we don't have to, let's say, worry ourselves by importing them. So I will just do execute, then this should be in string, all of them should be in string, then here should be an f string, since we are passing a variable inside, which is num. Then I'll say here should be okay, like this. Now here is double quote, so I'll do it a single quote here and a single quote there. Okay, so I have this, so I'm getting the label now. Now we move on to the quantity. Okay, so how will you get the quantity? So it's very simple. You go down here, we specify some entries here. So these entries are okay, so that's how we spelled it. So var entry, so we go to the top to get those entries one by one. Okay, so here you do execute the same way, then I'll say f string being equal to, then I'll say okay, then I'll say item quantity being equal to, then I'll say var underscore get, var underscore entry, and here should be okay, here should be entry, then our num will come here, then here should be get, so dot get, so that we can get the entry inside that entry, or we can get the current number inside that entry. Then I would say get. Okay, so we already have the what the user typed as the quantity. Okay, so that's what we are having right here. So what next will be the cost. So how will we calculate the cost? It's very simple. You just multiply your prices, or you multiply the prices by the quantity the customer is buying. Okay, so simple. So how will you get the prices? So here I'll quickly go to my SQL and just see SQL workbench running now. So I'll go to, let's say, so I named the items here as the database, so you can create the same database items. Now I have a table, so I've already gone through how to create the table and database, so you can, let's say, see the previous videos to check it out. So here I have my food table here containing my name, the name of, let's say, the item, the name of the image, or the image name, then the price, and the quantity. So the quantity is just the one in stock in your store right now. Then the price should be, let's say, the prices of the items. Okay, so if you can see here, it's all in the food table, and you see how it's spelled like. So I'll go to my code here. Now what I will just do is create a function. So here it will be def to get the item. So item. Okay, so I will need one parameter. So which parameter is that? The name of, let's say, the item, so that we can get the specific ones instead of getting all, let's say, the items. So I'll just pass item here. Yeah. So what should this do? It's simply going to the MySQL database. So we need a connect function. So you have been doing this, so it's so simple. So connect, then I'll say here we should pass the host being equal to, then I'll say localhost. So we need the username also. So username being equal to, so root, and the password. So this may vary depending on what you used in your MySQL setup. So 115. Okay, then I'll say the database I'll be focusing on should be food. Sorry, it should be items. Okay, so that's the items database I'm looking at. Okay, now I should just do cursor being equal to db. So I'm establishing a connection to the database. So db.cursor. Okay, then go down here. So now if you want to execute a command, you know how to do it. So just do cursor, that's the name you stored it, that's the name you stored here, being equal to, oh sorry, that's the name, then execute. Okay, so we like to select all the prices and the name. So select, I'll say name comma prices. Okay, so that's the important ones we want to select. So prices from, so from where, so command we want to execute. So select the name and prices from the food table. Okay, now we need to fetch all the incoming, let's say, queries. So we just do maybe I'll store it in the my fetch, or my fetch variable. So that's the variable I'm using to fetch the items or the name and prices coming. So I'll just do my fetch being equal to, then oh sorry, it should be a for loop. Okay, so okay, so let's relax here. So we passed an item as an argument in the function get item. So we need to, let's say, select only that item and pass it there. Okay, so what we do is just we need a dictionary. So item list being equal to an empty dictionary here. Now what we do is just do for uh for it. Okay, we need to fetch it. So cursor dot fetch all. Okay, that's the fetch all first. Then I'll say my fetch being equal to this. Okay, now I'll use the for loop to add them in the dictionary. So for x, or for item in the my fetch, what should we do? So we just add it. So it's coming like in a form of two items, so name and prices. So here should be item name, then prices. Okay, so we are getting these two forms here. Now the dictionary key will be the item list, item underscore list. Then I'll say it should be item name here. So that's the key. Then the prices will come as the value. So prices. Okay, so we have it in our dictionary now. Now we just return the specific one we want. So we do that by let's say looking inside the for loop. So we just do return uh, item underscore list. So that's what it will return when you store it to a variable. So item underscore list, then we pass the item here. So if you can see, we have the name and so we have the prices being returned. Okay, so I'll specify it here. So first we need to execute them. So execute f string, then I'll say let's say my price or my okay, this should be the price. So price being equal to, then I'll say get. So let's see how we name the function here. So I think it's get item. Okay, get item. So get underscore item. Yeah. Then we open the parenthesis. Now we need to pass the item name. So it should be the same. It should be the same as the one in your let's say database. So the one in your database. So here should be lower. So that's dot lower. So that like in our database, it's in all, it's like all the names should be in the lowercase form. So here we should pass a lowercase let's say a lowercase name here. Then we should also pass the same lowercase there, or we don't need it. Yeah, we don't need, because we are, let's say, converting it to lowercase here. So we just pass it here. So we just pass our label name, which should be the item underscore name here. Okay. Okay, so that's the item name here, because we have it here. So if you can see, we have it in here. Then so we have our price there, we have everything we need. Okay, so what we will do now is I'll just return what we have so that we can see what we are getting. Okay, so I'll go here, then I'll just do print or execute something like price. So execute price. Okay, so execute print, then I'll say price here. Okay, parenthesis close. Okay, no, so let's run this code and see. So I've already added the add command, so no need to go back. So credentials, then I'll go here, and I'll say 123. Okay, I'll add this. So I'll quickly go to here. Said name label 0 is not defined. So what we need to make these let's say what we created here all global variables. So you just do global. So I will need the label. So that's what we need. We used at the top there. So label and entry. So label 0. So I'll just copy this to be fast. So label 0. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So here should be 1, 2 here, and 3 there, 4 there. So we do the same for the entry. Okay. So we are setting it as global variables. Okay. So here should be 3. Okay, 4 rather. It should be 3. Okay. So I'll copy the same thing here. Control V. Okay. Now I'll need the variable here, text variable. I set to the entry. So I used 4 of them. So here should be Control V, Control V, Control V, and Control V, then another one. Okay, I think it's too much. 0, 1, 2. Okay, last one. Okay, so here should be 4, 3, then 2, then 1 here. Okay, so we have all the global variables we need. So let's go again. So I'll go quickly. Okay, so staff. Okay, then I'll add the password. Okay, so I'll add this. So I click that. So I'll go here. So var entry 0 is okay. Okay, so here should be 0. So that's the thing. So I'll go here 0. Then let's run this again. Okay, so staff, my credentials, then okay, so I'll add this, then I'll go here, unknown name inferred underscore list. Okay, so we are getting an error there. Why? Because I made a syntax error here. So select name prices from, instead of star, food, so from food. Okay, so that's the mistake I did. So don't repeat this. Okay, so I'll just do run. Okay, then I'll go staff, credentials, login, add, no errors, I think, prices in field list. Okay, here should be price rather, so I'll go here. Okay, credentials again. Okay, then I'll add it quickly. Label 5 is not defined. Okay, so I think we had only 4 items, so starting from 0, so here should be 5. Okay, so I'll go again. Okay, so we start by selecting staff, credentials, then I'll go here, login. Okay, so add again. Okay, so it's working now. So we have our prices being displayed here. So that's the prices of let's say, for each for loop run we get a different price. So as you can see, so for each for loop run we get a different price. Okay, so I think that's that for getting the price. Now we move on to adding the prices to. So we have everything in place now, so we just add them. So I'll quickly make my purchases code text global so that we can use it in the add function here. So just do global, then purchases underscore code text. Okay, okay, now we are good to go. Now I'll go to the top here. So what I'll be doing will be just adding them. So I'll just do uh so I'll name a variable here so that like it won't be piled up. So text or txt. So I'll say txt being equal to, okay, so I'll make it a double quote here, yeah, so that maybe we use a single quote, it won't affect it. So I have txt being equal to, so here we need a name to come first, so it should be item underscore name. Okay, item underscore name here, then okay, here should be m. Now I would like to multiply it by, let's say, some an empty string here so that it will be spaced out a bit. So I'll just do, so here should be a space here. So I'll multiply it, let's say, by uh 20 here. Okay, so 20. Then what's next? So what's next will be adding uh uh okay, I'll add a bar also. So add a bar. Okay, so like we did in the headings, I'll add a bar here, then my closing quotes will come. Okay, so we have item name set. Now we move on to the quantity. So for the quantity, we just do times something. So we just do x like this times, and I'll say plus, then the quantity will come. So the quantity, I named it to be item underscore quantity. Okay, yeah. Then here there's a space here, so here should be uh, okay. Then here multiply it by, let's say, a 15 here, or let's say an 18. So I'll give it an 18 rather. Then here should be in a small parenthesis. Okay, so what we are doing now is just styling our, let's say, GUI. So I'll go here. Then the last one should be the cost. So I'll quickly add them here. Okay, then here should start. Then